You look at a book, perhaps when you're at the bookstore or perusing the library shelves, and you usually find a preface that offers a glimpse into the book's contents. It's a familiar concept, isn't it? Yet, throughout history, there have been exceptional books that defy this conventional notion entirely. Take, for instance, the enigmatic Voynich manuscript, shrouded in mystery, or the cryptic Codex Seraphinianus, a visual journey into the bizarre and surreal. But today, we delve into a book you may find intriguing and unsettling. This book, while some of its secrets have been unveiled through time, still conceals wonders yet to be discovered. Despite some revelations revealed over time, it still hides secrets more astonishing and, at times, more ominous than one could fathom. Could this book, known as the Book of Nostradamus, hold the elusive key to unlocking the universe's deepest mysteries? Or do its cryptic verses warn of impending catastrophe, signals that, if disregarded, may seal the fate of our species? However, while we're on the subject of mystery, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's go on. Over the past few years, there have been various predictions that have not only been scary, but have also hit the nail on the head. A substantial number of these predictions were made by the French seer, Nostradamus. But before we delve into his intriguing prophecies, let's take a closer look at his early life. Nostradamus, originally known as Michel de Notre Dame or Nostradam, lived during a fascinating period in history. He made a lasting impact as a French astrologer and physician. Born on December 14, 1503, in Saint-Rémy, he is widely regarded as one of the most read seers of the Renaissance era. Despite lacking formal medical credentials and reportedly being expelled from medical school, Nostradamus embarked on his medical journey in Agen during the 1530s. It was in Salon in 1544 that he gained fame for his innovative medical treatments, particularly during the plague outbreaks in Aix and Lyon in 1546. In 1547, Nostradamus began a new chapter, a journey into prophecy that ultimately led to the publication of his book Centuries in 1555. This remarkable work consisted of rhymed quatrains neatly organized into sets of 100, referred to as centuries. At the time, astrology was flourishing, and in 1558, an expanded edition of his book emerged, dedicated to the French king. That very year, Nostradamus settled in Salon de Provence, a town that remains standing to this day. It was here that he tied the knot with Anne Ponsard, a wealthy widow. Together, they welcomed 6 children into their family, 3 daughters and 3 sons. Nostradamus's prophecies garnered significant attention, with some seemingly coming true. His fame grew to such an extent that he was invited to the court of Catherine de' Medici, the queen consort of Henry II of France. There, he even cast the horoscopes of her children. In 1564, Nostradamus received a notable appointment that would mark the later years of his life. Charles IX, the King of France at the time, appointed him as the royal physician. This prestigious role solidified Nostradamus's position within the French court and further enhanced his reputation in the world of medicine and prophecy. As the king's physician, Nostradamus found himself in a position of trust and influence. His responsibilities included providing medical advice and care to the royal family, a role that undoubtedly came with considerable demands and responsibilities. This appointment not only elevated his status, but also provided him with a level of financial stability and security. Yet, even in his official role, Nostradamus never abandoned his passion for prophecy. Throughout these years, he continued to work on his enigmatic verses and predictions. His reputation as a seer and visionary continued to grow, and his writings remained a subject of intense fascination and debate. However, as Nostradamus entered his early 60s, his health began to deteriorate. The long-standing pain of gout, which he had endured for many years, had significantly limited his mobility. By 1566, his condition had worsened, with his gout progressing into edema, a condition characterized by swelling due to the buildup of excess fluid in the body's tissues. The demands of his official role as a royal physician and the pressures stemming from his work as a seer began to take a toll on his well-being. Extensive travels and numerous consultations with patients had already left their mark on his health, and it became increasingly clear that his overall condition was deteriorating. Tragically, Nostradamus's life came to an end on the 1st of July, 1566, in Salon, France. He passed away at the age of 62 or 63, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate and intrigue people to this day. His prophecies, known as the centuries, have remained a source of fascination and debate, with interpretations and discussions persisting for centuries. Following Nostradamus's passing in 1566, his writings, including the prophecies, were preserved for future generations. Yet it took several years for a curious soul named Jean-Aimé de Chavigny, an earnest librarian with a fondness for old manuscripts, to stumble upon this hidden treasure. Chavigny uncovered a copy of Nostradamus's prophetic writings, although he wasn't the one to fully decipher them. Fast forward to 1994, and an astonishing revelation occurred within the Italian National Library in Rome. Within its hallowed halls, members of the library made a remarkable discovery: a previously unknown manuscript containing 80 mysterious paintings, all attributed to the renowned prophet Michel de Nostradamus. This manuscript had spanned the corridors of history, passing from the hands of the prophetic seer to those of his own son. Ultimately, it landed in the possession of Pope Urban VIII as a donation from Nostradamus's descendants. The key to unlocking the mysteries within these 80 paintings lay in the capable hands of Ottavio Cesare Ramotti, a respected scholar and authority on all things Nostradamus. With dedication and meticulous research, Ramotti unraveled the concealed secrets, shedding light on the precise order and arrangement of Nostradamus's quatrains, a riddle that had baffled minds for centuries. Today, this invaluable manuscript finds its sanctuary within the esteemed confines of the National Library of France in Paris. Here it stands as a cherished relic, safeguarded for the curiosity of generations yet to come, beckoning them to explore the prophetic verses penned by the illustrious seer, Nostradamus. The beauty of Nostradamus is you can read whatever you wish into what he wrote. What some may consider as charlatanry is viewed from another angle. Let's examine some of the predictions that he is believed to have made and which people thought actually came true. The young lion will overcome the older one. On the field of combat in a single battle, he will pierce his eyes through a golden cage. 2 wounds made 1, then he dies a cruel death. In 1559, King Henry II of France, the older one in the prophecy, engaged in a joust with the Comte de Montgomery, the young lion. Despite their age difference, they faced each other on the battlefield. During their encounter, Montgomery's lance tilted upward, piercing the king's eye, fulfilling the "pierce his eyes through a golden cage" part, and lodging in his temple. 2 wounds made 1. King Henry II endured 10 days of agonizing pain before succumbing to his injuries, aligning with the prophecy's conclusion of a cruel death. In this prophecy, Nostradamus describes a fatal confrontation. The young lion signifies a youthful and strong contender, while the older one represents an experienced opponent. They meet in a decisive battle on the battlefield. He will pierce his eyes through a golden cage, suggests a gruesome injury, as if the victor, symbolized as the young lion, will strike the older one's eyes through a golden cage, depicting a deadly blow. 2 wounds made 1 implies that these injuries will merge into a single devastating wound. The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burnt by fire in the year 66. The ancient lady will fall from her high place, and many of the same sex will be killed. In the year 1666, a seemingly small fire ignited in the bakery of Thomas Fariner on Pudding Lane, London. However, this modest spark escalated into a catastrophic 3-day blaze that engulfed the entire city. The prophecy's mention of the blood of the just finds an unusual interpretation in the millions of fleas carried by rats that perished during the inferno. While historical records did not document peasant deaths at the time, it is widely believed that around 6 individuals lost their lives in the fire. From the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people. He who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. His fame will increase towards the realm of the East. Born on April 20th, 1889, in Western Europe to impoverished parents, Adolf Hitler emerged as a charismatic figure known for his powerful oratory skills, described as "he who by his tongue will seduce a great troop." His rise to fame extended eastward, notably with the Axis alliance between Germany and Japan. The mention of Hister appears to be a spelling error, but holds significance as Hitler's name is quite similar. The prophecy continues with the imagery of conflict. Beasts ferocious with hunger will cross the rivers, which can be linked to the German army's invasion of France. The greater part of the battlefield against Hitler points to the Allied powers eventually prevailing over Hitler's forces. The death of Princess Diana God the last but first, the nickname of Nostradamus of the 90s, takes the goddess of the moon for his day and movement, a frantic wanderer and witness of God's law in awakening the world's great regions to God's will. On August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana and Dodi Al-Fayed tragically lost their lives in a car crash inside the Pont de l'Alma tunnel in Paris. This particular quatrain has been invoked to suggest a foretelling of Princess Diana's demise. Here's the reasoning behind this interpretation, although it's crucial to note that it's widely debunked. Some claim that Diana is symbolized as the Roman goddess of the moon. They also propose that the word seer, the nickname of Nostradamus, can be mirrored as Rees, the name of the sole survivor in Diana's crash, Trevor Rees, implying Nostradamus's foresight. From the enslaved populace, songs, chants, and demands, while princes and lords are held captive in prisons, these will be in the future by headless idiots, be received as divine prayers. In 1789, the French people had endured oppressive aristocratic rule for too long and decided to take matters into their own hands. The disenfranchised masses, referred to as the enslaved populace, seized control of Paris and fervently voiced their demands. Members of the aristocracy, the princes and lords, were stripped of their power and confined within prison walls, most notably in the Bastille. Later, they faced execution by the guillotine, a method often associated with the term headless idiots. This prophecy appears to reflect the tumultuous events of the French Revolution, where the common people rose against their oppressive rulers, resulting in significant societal changes and the fall of the aristocracy. There are many things we often find comfort in not knowing. We might not know a stranger's name or the digits of our credit card. Not knowing these details is quite usual in our daily lives. However, Nostradamus, the French seer, was quite different in this regard. Despite some of his previous predictions having come true, he has once again provided us with a set of predictions for the future, and I must say, they are far from optimistic. Among his prophecies, one that stands out is the prediction of a celestial fire on the royal edifice. Throughout history, references to doomsday or the end of times often involve fire as a central element in the world's demise. However, this particular prophecy takes an intriguing turn by suggesting that from the ashes of civilization, a new world order will emerge. But here's the question for you. Do you believe in the authenticity of the Book of Nostradamus? And if you have any prophecies or predictions of your own that you think might come to pass, we invite you to share them in the comments section below. Maybe they could indeed be a spectacle for future generations and could seal our names in history forever. Well, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.